Hey, welcome back to the channel, you guys. So, just as the title just described, I'm going to be talking about working as a freelancer while you're sick. um, so, I did this video a few minutes ago, and I got through the entire thing, and I watched the entire thing. It was like 15 minutes long, and I'm like, first of all, it's too long. Second of all, I kept clearing my throat, and I have allergies. And unfortunately, sometimes they rear their terrible, nasty head. And my apologies for those of you who have been with me for a while and you hear me constantly clearing my throat. Unfortunately, if I don't clear my throat, I will choke. So hopefully you'll bear with me. But what I need to explain is what is happening in the midst of. So right now, I am sick. I am really, really sick. And not just, hey, I got a head cold. Hey, I got a headache, blah, blah, blah. I have had probably the worst case of the flu in my entire life. Now, I haven't had all the other things that are involved with having the flu, vomiting, and some of those other things. But I wanted to make a video in the midst of explaining, even though I've been really sick since Monday, like 102 degree temperature sick. Right now, I've got 101 while I'm talking to you. And clearing my throat and coughing and some of those other things that are really just irritating. I just wanted to explain to you as a freelance contractor and illustrator, somebody that's on retainer, working for these larger companies, they rely upon you. And even though you're sick, you still have to work. So like I got woken up, Monday, I say Monday evening, but it was actually Tuesday morning. I worked a full day on Monday, completing this huge project. I got about 80% of it done. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go ahead and finish the rest of that project during the week. I've got plenty of time. Lo and behold, on Tuesday morning at about 2 o'clock, I got woken up by severe body aches. And I've had body aches before, but this is to the point where I couldn't even walk. I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me. I couldn't walk. I always equate sickness to how many baths / showers I take during the day, because the hot water it makes me feel better. So Tuesday was a 4. And then I think I slept until like 8 or till like 10:30. And then I checked all my emails. And of course, I've got tons of emails, transfer files. Help me, the world, the sky is falling, help me, Mike. So I had to avert crises and transfer files and explain to my clients that I was sick. Typically, I've got set in my business model, I can do 1 or 2 days. After sickness breaches 1 or 2 days, I start having some issues because of the way the machine is set up, the illustration machine, the contract machine. They rely upon you to do these jobs, and you have to do them. So here we are, Wednesday. Woke up, still body aches, still can't hardly walk. The massive amounts of just, it's hard to describe how bad. I mean, I had COVID-19 in 2019. And I had 102 degree temperature. I had a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of a cough, stuffy nose. I had hot flashes. And then, it lasted like 4 or 5 days, and that was it. This is different. It is debilitating. It's hard for me to walk. I got dizzy. And I'm not saying this is a variant of COVID. I'm saying this is probably a variant of the seasonal flu. And I don't leave my studio a lot, so I don't know. So I don't know how I got it. But, it is what it is. So here we are on Wednesday. And of course, I got emails this morning, hey, Mike, how you feeling? You ready to get back on the train? Let's do this. And I had to explain. I said, dude, I'm extremely sick. This is the second day, basically. And I'm basically iterating to these people that I can't hardly walk. I've got 101, 102 degree temperature, and I run cool. I'm a cool customer. I don't typically go above 97.5. So if I breach 100 degrees temperature, I'm sick. So I've been 101. I checked my temperature, and I'm right at 101.3. And that was like 5 minutes ago. So, here we are on Wednesday. I worked a full day today. That illustration machine keeps going. And tomorrow I'll work another full day. I've got a deadline on Friday. And I'm looking to wrap everything up hopefully by tomorrow. I do give myself a little bit of space, and I've talked with my client, and Friday is okay to submit stuff. But here's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to make it because if you are on the fence about being a freelancer, one of the things that, of course, is not talked about a lot of times is this management. The management of time, the balance of work versus life, the balance of things like if you become sick, how are you going to deal with that? Whenever you're in a studio environment, the business you work for, whether it's Disney or Warner Brothers, they allow for sick days, and you get paid for those sick days or personal days or whatever you have to do. Life comes up, right? Life happens. And that is in their business model. They have contingencies. You have other artists that can pick up the load. But if you are an individual contractor or somebody that you have multiple companies relying upon you, then you have to get the job done even when you're sick. And a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people can't work when they're sick. I worked all the way through COVID-19, and it was bad working with 102-degree temperature and doing that. And a lot of times I don't even tell my clients that I'm sick. Whenever I have to sleep for 12 hours, 15, 18 hours, I do tell them. That's in my business model. I do make sure and they understand. And most of the time, they understand. They're human beings, too. Things happen. If there's a death in the family or something like that. So all those things are relative, I guess. But I remember telling an art director at Disney, actually, a fantastic art director, and we were having a discussion, and I said, being a freelancer is challenging. It's hard. And he looked at me, and he with the truest face I've ever seen anybody give, he goes, "Why is it so hard?" And I was taken aback a little bit because, from my understanding, he had never been a freelancer. And of course, most artists these days, you get jobs on the side, but being a full-time freelancer is a little bit different. And he just had that expression, not smug, but it was just, he really wanted to know why. And I said, mister, I said, because, you have to manage so many aspects of your business yourself. If you have to, your billing, your art creation, your own direction, your organization, you got to be a production manager, you have to be a budgeteer, you have to budget your time and the balance, that huge illustration machine and work machine that you establish throughout your career, especially as a freelancer, somebody that can be relied upon, word of mouth. And the sacrifices you make will be part of your reputation. And if you're constantly being sick, if you're not meeting deadlines and all those things, or you go over budget, or whatever it is, or you don't maintain that level of professionalism, then you will not be a freelancer for long because the word will get out that you suck. And that definitely, I had to talk with him. I said, being a freelancer is challenging because of all those aspects and variables that you really don't understand going into it. You have to experience it. And even after you have experienced some of those things, you still aren't prepared for stuff like what happened to me on Tuesday at 2:45 in the morning. Whenever I got slammed, I got woken up by those body aches, and I was like, holy crap. And, here I am a couple days later after still working. I took just hours. I didn't take days. I took hours off. And that is the kind of the baseline of being a freelance artist and contractor. You work when you have to, and you work when you shouldn't, and to maintain, to keep. And you can't really, how do I put it? Stress is one of those things that literally is like salt on a wound. That you can worry about it. A check doesn't come in. You don't have enough time to meet a deadline. You have to do an all-nighter, or you cannot stress about it. I used to stress, dudes. I used to stress a lot, man. I used to think about the checks not coming in, not meeting those deadlines. Suddenly a client says, what? I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it. Just send me an invoice for what what we owe you. And then cutting a job off at a certain point before it came to its fruition. All those things are possible as a contractor, and some people can't handle it. That's why I took somebody's advice, Mr. Steven Silver. He said, you have multiple fires going at once. If you tend to this fire and it's blazing, you can't ignore these other fires, right? Because what happens, this fire is gonna go out, it's gonna finally die, and then this fire that you've been tending a little bit here and there is suddenly gonna keep you warm. It's always good to have multiple fires going. I lost I had 4 fires going in 2019, and at the beginning of 2020, 3 of those fires went away. I remember 3 of my big, I mean, they were big. You know, we're looking at $3,000 a month for one of them. Another one was, you know, $2,800 a month. And the third one was, you know, they're $1,700 a month. So all that went away. And I was still promised about $8,000 to $10,000 to come in that wasn't going to come in for a while. And that was the beginning of March. I remember that phone call. And those fires that I had sacrificed, that I had worked through, that I had worked even when I was sick, they were gone. And I only had 1 fire left. And I remember that one client said, you know, we're going to stick with you. And that was a huge deal for me. And even now, there'll be times when that client needs something and I'll drop everything. And that's loyalty. There is still loyalty in the world. And they were loyal to me. And I will definitely be loyal to them. Even when I'm sick, right? Even when I'm sick. And that's what I did. You know, I'll do it tomorrow. I did it today. Working while you're sick sucks. But as a freelancer, as a contract person, sometimes you have to do it because you don't really have another choice. I mean, you don't want to lose that work. You don't want to lose that client. You know, and one of the things I did today, as I worked through, I would work, and then I would take a break. And then I would work, and I would take a break. And I would work, and I would take a break. And that's, you know, self-management, the balance. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to talk about that balance and working even in the midst of being sick. As I clear my throat, which I can't stand. Alrighty, so that wraps up this video. Lots of really cool stuff coming up. I've, of course, got a podcast called Michael Clarda Arts, Tales from the Drawing Desk. It's currently hosted on Apple, iTunes, I believe, their podcast app, and I'll be transferring over to Spotify and iHeartRadio, I hope. So, look for that soon. I'll be posting links, of course, and I've got some tutorials coming out. I'm doing a tutorial right now for XP Pen that I'm going to use as a template to create tutorials that I'll sell on Gumroad, $3 to $5 a shot, to offset the balance of production. You know, those videos are going to have production value, time invested, therefore it needs to be a return. Investment versus return, baby. Not here to be a millionaire. I'm definitely here to, you know, break even. At least break even. You know, I look back and I've been doing YouTube since 2014. And I still haven't reached 10,000 subscribers, good Lord. But every one of those subscribers is real. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. And those of you who have landed on the channel for the first time, hit that notification bell to subscribe. Thank you for watching. And I hope you got something today. And hopefully the next video I'll feel better. I hope. 101 people. Yeah. See you next time, guys.